Hi, my name is Kari Nelson.
My name's Shawn Garza.
My name is Susan Manaloor.
My name's Cody Porter.
And I'm Janac, and we are representing Incight. So our proposal to KATU and Fisher Communications is to host a walkathon that we will use to raise money for Incight's programs that will directly affect the disabled community.
Welcome to Portland, a city based on communities. Portland as a community is a place where you can see more bikes than cars. You can get a donut and get married at the same place, have a pillow fight at Pioneer Square, where social abnormality is encouraged. You can even see Star Trek in the park or go to a vegan strip club. But we wanted to see what the residents of Portland really thought a community is, so we went to the streets to get their opinions.
So can you give me your best definition of what a community is?
Community is a group, regardless of how large, that are interdependent on each other for a mutual interest.
A community is a collection of people working together towards a common goal.
So can you tell me how you contribute to the community?
I volunteer a lot for the public schools and the Oregon Convention Center, 10 hours a week.
I do basic things like recycling. Other than that, I volunteer at a school. It's a preschool Head Start, and I work with them for reading literacy, and it's called Smart Start Making a Reader Today. That's cool. Yeah.
Well, a lot of ways. I do volunteer work at various charities. I'm involved in a program where convicted felons, when they are released from prison, they come and stay at my house for a couple of weeks while they get back on their feet and try to figure out what the next step is for them.
So how do you think that people with disabilities contribute to the community?
Same way everybody else does. There's no, aside from whatever it is that they cannot do that obviously makes them disabled or qualifies them for disability, they do what they can just as everybody else does.
Well, I don't know, like, particularly, I mean, I assume people with disabilities, if they have, work ethic or education or just a desire to help the community can, but I don't know.
Well, they're no different than anybody else. They just have things that they need to overcome. And if there are things that hinder them, then they find other ways to contribute. But at the end of the day, I mean, like, I personally am diagnosed with Asperger's syndrome, but you can't tell because I've worked my ass off to not be that and to not burden other people with it. I've overcome it, and I still do everything I can to contribute positively in whatever sense.
I don't think that there's any difference. I don't see that their disability is a factor. Like, specifically, I mean, I think they could do whatever I'm doing, whatever anyone else is doing.
When faced with the questions of how people with disabilities contribute to our community, people gave us mixed opinions. This is the biggest issue that us as Portland citizens face, is our view that there is a separate community of people with disabilities and people without disabilities. This way of thinking is what has made it so difficult for people with disabilities to contribute to our community with the same way that everyone else does. For those who are disabled, what this is a hindrance placed upon them, and it has affected every aspect of their everyday lives. In the United States, the disabled community is faced with an immeasurable amount of obstacles from education to employment discrimination and self-sustainability. There is a colossal debt looming over the head of Congress that would force them to make large funding cuts, slashing more than $100 billion that would touch everything from special education to research and disability employment. Imagine millions of people from children to adults whose lives would be drastically changed for the worse by losing their education and job opportunities. After the completion of their K-12 education, the greatest struggle students with disabilities face is carrying on to higher education and fulfilling an independent lifestyle. They simply don't have the immediate resources to understand schooling beyond the basic K-12 education as others do. Currently, only 18% of people with a disability receive a college education. Many students who graduate high school need to know that there are many programs out there that provide information of the college experience for people with disabilities. They provide scholarships, help to assist college students in becoming independent contributors to their community, and much more. This is where Incight comes in.
My name is Dan Freese. I'm the Executive Director of Incight.
Incight is a Portland-based nonprofit service organization that provides those with disabilities both the tools and skills to better themselves and their communities.
So Incight was started almost 8-9 years ago with a mission to see people with disabilities become contributing members of society. Statistically, people with disabilities are less educated, and they have lower unemployment, and they have less family support, like less marriages, less children, so they're not able to be involved in society as much as what would be considered able-bodied people. So when you think of a nonprofit organization or like a government agency, you'll hear this word program. That's a kind of nonprofit way of saying the work that we actually do. It's called a program. So we have 4 programs: networking, independence, education, and employment. And what we do is have all sorts of services under each of those 4 main buckets. Under education, we do a scholarship. So we have about 100 scholars per year across the country. Most are in Oregon and Washington. And we help supplement their college education financial aid. We then also go and do outreach to high schools to encourage students with disabilities to consider going to some sort of post-secondary education. We also have partnerships with the colleges. With the employment, we work with job seekers, people with disabilities trying to find employment. And so we'll give them coaching, we give them resources such as like books on how to find their job better, on how to interview better. We then also work with businesses who are receptive to hiring people with disabilities, and we try and help the two meet each other. Here's the business, here's the job seeker, find each other in the middle. Independence, we try and do stuff to help people live a more independent lifestyle. So that includes like recreation and sports. So we do like a hand cycling series out at the International Raceway track here in Portland. During the summer, every like Tuesday night, people come out and get to ride hand cycles, which are like bikes kind of built upside down that you sit in a chair and you pedal them with your arms. Networking is all about trying to give people a social experience where they can connect with peers, with mentors, with business opportunities. So we've got a lot of different things that we do to try and affect the community.
What programs is Incight currently working on to help benefit the disabled community?
So for us to deliver our programs, they require funding because they either have to pay for staff time to basically produce the resources or to administer the experience. In some cases, though, the money goes directly to our client base. A great example of that is our scholarship. And so our scholarship is a little bit unique because it doesn't fund someone's entire college experience. It's really kind of a supplement or a stipend, but it's money that absolutely helps their financial aid plan. And so when someone gives us money for our scholarship, it's kind of cool the way it works because most scholarships are based on merit and need. Am I smart enough and do I need the money? Ours works entirely different. It's based on character and intention. So we have a unique way of taking applicants and qualifying who they are, what they're dealing with in their life, and what they're doing about it, and what they intend to do with their life going forward. And so we have kind of a subjective process for analyzing that and deciding who we want to build a relationship with while they go through their college experience. And so they get a check from us, but then we also try and engage them on a relationship and go beyond just being money. And so then we try and actually engage in dialogue. We try and get them connected with internships. We provide them additional resources. We invite them to our events. We help them network where we possibly can. So it's pretty unique because most scholarships don't work that way at all. So money that comes through us is going to a very unique group of students who are overcoming, in most cases, significant obstacles, who are, in our opinion, the very people who are going to help change the culture of people with disability.
Which brings us to our proposal. We would like to work with KATU and Fisher Communications to host a fundraiser walkathon to benefit the disabled community. Our projected date for this event will take place in the spring of 2014. With this event, Incight hopes to raise $40,000 profit through all aspects of our walkathon. As far as logistics, we are currently working with the City of Portland to choose a route for our walkathon. As of right now, we are searching for locations around Chapman, Lonsdale, and Strunk parks within the Portland area. Our plan is that we will have 2 separate start times, one for those community members that would like to run, and then a second start time for those who would like to walk. Our expectations are that around 2,000 participants will sign up. The initial registration fee is held at $5 along with the encouraged fundraising for individuals and teams. There will be several different incentives given out after each individual or team has reached a certain dollar amount.
This event will require a great deal of volunteer work. We plan to invite 100 to 200 volunteers to help run our walkathon. Volunteer duties will consist of setting up and cleaning up before and after the event, managing registrations, making sure everyone is properly registered and checked in, managing the incentive stand, distributing t-shirts, keychains, lanyards, hats, etc., managing parking, making sure participants park in the proper locations and use drop-off areas, managing the information booth, providing information about Incight, the sponsors, and the programs their donations will help fund, supporting participants along the way, pointing out the walkathon's route to participants, and handing out snacks and water at the evenly spread out hydration stations, providing concessions to participants. Concession volunteers must coordinate with the walkathon staff to gain approval and find an appropriate location, and managing entertainment, doing things such as face painting, dancing, or playing music. We will have a minimum of 5 CPR certified volunteers available during the event, at least 2 of which will remain at the aid station tent at all times, and the rest will be spread throughout the course.
This walkathon will benefit many people in several aspects of their lives. It will greatly help us as Incight to achieve the goals we have set for ourselves, and it will better equip us to assist those who are disabled. Through this walkathon, Incight will be able to inform the entire community about what it means to be disabled. It will also give us access to more resources in order to go out into the community and teach them about this issue. Having more funds will allow us to continue programs we have already set in motion. We will be able to provide more scholarships for disabled students transitioning into college, and we will be able to assist more people with disabilities in their search for a job. More importantly, Incight will be able to help those who are disabled to achieve an independent lifestyle and to help them become contributing members of society. Our community will also greatly benefit from this event. By helping Incight to assist those who are disabled in becoming contributing members, it will increase the diversity in workplaces, universities, and many other areas of the community. Furthermore, our community will become more knowledgeable about people with disabilities. This will lead to a greater support from the community for those who are disabled. We will be able to get more people involved in Incight and in assisting people with disabilities. Incight, disabled people, and the community are not the only ones who will benefit from this walkathon. In sponsoring this event, you, KATU, and Fisher Communications will be able to increase your public image and competitive edge. By helping those who are disabled, you will earn the respect of your listeners. The community will view you in a positive light for your generosity and willingness to be so dedicated to this cause. This walkathon will also be an effective marketing tool. The news of the sponsorship will reach numerous people in the community, and you will gain many new viewers. We all here at Incight long to work with you, KATU, and Fisher Communications, to put on this walkathon in order to help you achieve your goals, as well as ours in helping those who are disabled to become self-empowered.
Here at Incight, we are dedicated in helping all people with disabilities in a wide spectrum of ways. Incight empowers people with disabilities to take on the challenge of going to the college of their dreams and becoming independent. Having the possibility of major budget cuts affecting the lives of people with disabilities, from special education to assistive technology for people who without it couldn't function. Responsibility is weighing more and more on Incight in becoming a fundamental tool for all people with disabilities in the Portland community to use. Creating a walkathon will further supplement the programs provided by Incight to help the people with disabilities in our local community. Liakowitz says, "It is understood that any person who is believed to deviate from culturally acceptable physical and mental norms is disabled. It is vital in becoming a genuine community to eliminate that way of thinking." This walkathon will strengthen the gap between people without disabilities to people with disabilities and further the goal of having one true community without discrimination. The walkathon would extinguish intolerance and empower people to stand up for people with disabilities. This walkathon is a statement that anyone and everyone can come together and support Portland as a community, and that all people of Portland have the opportunity to becoming contributing members of society. We are
One.
one community and we support everyone.